Radio Zero.
It's Radio Zero. Oh, I just got a message on my... You did too, right? Radio Zero with Rick and Rose, Friday, July 11th, 5:03 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 2025. In the year of... year zero. The year of our Trump.
We're live streaming on Facebook on the Radio Zero page and on the Poster Children page, on Twitch at PCJCUSA, and on the Poster Children YouTube channel. Obviously, you can also follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Go to radiozero.us. You can patronize us at patreon.com/radiozero. Thank you to all of our Patreon Patreon donors.
Donuts. You can be, you're Radio Zero donut if you're a patron.
Hey, donuts.
Hey, donuts. Boy, do we have a exciting show for you tonight. I've that's what they say on MSNBC. You're not going to believe the show we have for you today.
So we can't call our followers donuts because CNBC calls theirs donuts?
Really? Oh, okay. Did you look it up?
No, that's what you said. That's what they say on CNBC.
Oh, okay. All right. And anyway, where was I? Well, it's the middle of summer. Thanks for listening. Okay, fine.
I thought you were going to
list.
explain summer.
I do have my list. I'm really mad because, we don't have, okay, let's start with this. We don't have air conditioning in our house. We have one room with an air conditioner. And I can't believe that you guys are living like this.
I can't believe it either. I can't believe one of us hasn't died yet.
I mean, and we're in a pretty temperate zone, right? There are areas of the earth that are hotter than this area where people do live without air conditioning. Actual human beings, the same as you and me. So, and our kid, right? But I am pretty amazed at you guys. I'm very proud of you for not dying yet. Like, how do you keep cool in this with no air conditioning?
I don't really. I mean, I spend time in the basement, but there have been a couple of days where I have felt like I'm being boiled alive. It impacts me in terms of just being able to function.
Do you
feel
ever
like I'm being boiled alive?
My
brain is literally fried.
Is it like? Does it feel like a flash, like a hot flash?
No.
Okay.
It feels like
because it stays.
Like, I guess it does. Yeah. It is. There was a day where I just felt like my skin was burning, like where it was just like I had a terrible headache and my body. Yeah, it was like when people say that, where like, oh, my skin is burning. It felt like that. Not like a sunburn, but more like a prickly heat.
Yeah. So have you ever gone to take a shower when that happens?
Never shower. You know that I'm against hygiene, basic hygiene.
There was one day when it was really hot, and I just went and sat in the bathtub, like a cool bath water, and it was like glorious. I really had a good time. And I keep feeling like each year I buy, every other year or so I buy like a plastic pool, like a $30 plastic pool, and then I fill it up and I sit in it. Then it gets bugs in it, and then there's mosquitoes, and it's horrible. So then the last year or two ago, like on Prime Day or something, not a sponsor, I bought like some sort of like screened in like tent. And I put the pool in the screened-in tent. It is such a pain in the ass, and there's still mosquitoes. Then the mosquitoes are trapped in there with you. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the pool here. And so I drive, and I'm like, oh, but it's so far away. But it's like 10 minutes away. I drive to the pool. Somebody else maintains the pool. I get to sit there and look at all the people, and then I get to sit there for as long as I want, and then I go home. It's fantastic. So I'm not going to have our own pool anymore. And if I want a pool here, that was going to be like when I turn 60, I want a pool or a hot tub or something like that. I want a hot tub. And I just I can fill up the bathtub. I love our bathtub.
Tim B has written cryptically Flavo Ice in the
comments.
And
yeah.
I don't, that
this is high.
That comment No, next comment. Let's not go there yet. The Flava Ice, such a terrible treat for children. It's like, right? Flava Ice is the windshield wiper fluid that's in the long baggies.
Yes.
That
It keeps you cool. It cools you down.
The cheapskate mothers would freeze in there and then give you as a treat. It's like, here's some frozen windshield wiper fluid, kids. Enjoy.
Yeah,
like
it's good because it does function. If you run out of windshield wiper fluid, you could spray it on your windshield.
Multi-use.
Yeah.
And then the other colors, right? Like glow-in-the-dark sticks, right? The little glow-in-the-dark rods. They've got that flavor. And then what's another flavor?
I went to the Asian food store and they sold me some of those once. You remember that? I came home with like a bunch of those.
Like the special. No, these are good. These are the Asian ones. These are the good flavored,
the Korean
colored
ones.
windshield wiper fluid.
Do you feel that cool breeze coming through?
Well, I have a fan on.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's not depression candy. You have your depression candy, which would be like Mary Jane's and Bit-O Honeys, right?
Bit-O Honeys, yeah.
Like the old ladies would give you.
No, this
the
is
depression
70s.
candy. This is.
Yeah.
I would say this is more like
I think it's
50s.
50s.
Like a 50s
'Cause
treat.
it's encased in plastic.
Yeah, it's plastic. It's completely artificial, right? No real natural flavors.
Yeah.
It's just all like space chemical space food. It's like, oh, this is what the astronauts have as a treat.
So Tim,
Right.
I guess no Flavo Ice for this household. No way. We're going hot turkey. We only have hot turkey.
And then this comment, is Epstein hiding in your basement? Now, is that a reference to the guy that Trump doesn't know, or is that a reference to Welcome Back, Kotter?
Juan Epstein. Is Juan Epstein hiding in our basement? Okay. Well, I still want to know, like, I'm really happy that see, the other thing about not having, so you can take showers and stuff. You can take like 3 showers a day if you want.
I don't.
And then
I
dress
can't.
light?
I actually cannot.
Oh, because
I mean,
it'd
I
be
guess
bad
in
for your,
theory,
yeah.
I could take showers that didn't involve washing, right? I wouldn't use soap. I'd just sit under the cold shower.
Yeah. And then when you get out, don't really dry yourself off too much, and then you walk around, and then as the welcome back.
So
car.
I have to say, this morning, at around noon, I took my shower. So I mowed the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Did not die.
Yeah, it's okay. Outside here is about it. When I was driving around today, the car temperature said 97 outside.
Yeah, and it says it's 89 degrees
Yeah.
right now.
Okay. So you mowed your lawn at noon.
Mowed the lawn. No, I finished.
Oh,
and
by
it was.
noon.
I think I finished by noon. Yeah, so I got a little bit of a late start, but it was okay. And then I took a shower, and then so it's to the point now where immediately I get out of the shower and I start sweating. So I did do a cold rinse, like I did a heart attack cold blast right at the end of the shower to cool down, and it didn't help.
Just take a cool shower the whole time, and then just walk around naked. Walk around the house naked like I do. All right. Well, I'm
so the problem is then you get like an NPR report of like a beached whale report in Central Illinois. It's like a large white whale. Large white whale was sighted.
You need like a kilt, it's probably all
then,
kilts.
Then that defeats again.
Yeah.
I'm sweating
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Well, it's airy down there.
Airy down there. Got to write that down as the title of the episode. Airy down there. So what's the joke? I can't remember what the joke is with Juan Epstein.
I don't either. We'll work on it.
Am I going to have to watch Welcome Back, Kotter now?
No, God. Oh, Cody says it's too hot in Philly too. I don't think it's too hot here. And then at night it goes down into the 70s, and then we have a window fan, and it's cool. Like there's cold air blowing on you all night. I love this. I'll get tired of it after a while too, and I'll be like, oh, and then I practice when I have my online capoeira class. I go in the attic.
You go in the oven.
Have you been upstairs in the attic?
No, I don't. In fact,
it's really hot up there.
My little to-do reminder, on my honey-do list to, work on the attic and stuff like that I have that snoozed I think until September.
What are you gonna? Oh, you're fixing the windows up there or something?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
actually, I could pull I've already pulled out the windows, and I can bring them out of there. But it's already
It's really
like
hot.
even just a general like clean the attic kind of thing. It's like I can't do that.
Yeah, it's. I wonder how hot it is up there. That would be really neat to know. Like, and I do like an hour long thing of movement and stuff. It's kind of like hot yoga. It's really, except you're moving around a lot. And then when I come downstairs, it feels cool for a while. It's really nice. But also think about how much. Yeah, Danny says I must be part lizard. It's 99 in DC. Oh, that's hotter than it is here. Okay, Philadelphia's probably hotter than it is here. But
I bet Philadelphia is the same.
you can look it up. Somebody could look it up. What was I going to say? Oh, think of how much money we're not spending on air conditioning.
Yeah, I am trying to be more ectopian.
You mean like an ectopian pregnancy? You mean
No,
like you're
not
in?
ectopic.
Oh, okay. What does
But-
ectopian mean? That's the name of the. What does that mean?
No. It's like a ecologically friendly utopia, right? But so.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is, yeah, and so much of my life though is technology based. You know, the music stuff and the technology stuff, things like that. And so, but you can have a lower impact. You know, not use. I mean, it's not like I'm running a hydraulic cement factory or something. You know, so it's a low energy thing. Went to a webinar on solar. You know, just to find out about getting solar panels, but then it just seemed like a lot of. Well, first off, got to get in under the deadline. The
Trump line.
Yeah, January 2026, heat death of the universe, of the planet. First day 1, day 0 of.
Is that when the initiatives
all
go
the
away or
initiatives
something like
go-
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But then also, we got to get the house re-roofed, and then we'd have to do that, and then we get the solar panels on, and the solar panels. Apparently, when you can hook into the grid, right? I knew this, and then you get credit on your energy bill, and depending on the service, right, you get credits different ways. But if you put too much in, like you do over your monthly build rate, right, you don't get. It doesn't roll over. It's
Wow,
not like you could
okay.
overproduce,
Yeah.
right, solar energy and then have zero bills. And then and the other thing is for like our local, like Ameren, you just offset your service. You don't offset the, what are they called? Well, they're the taxes, and then also the delivery fees, right, or whatever they are, right, the infrastructure fees or whatever they add on there. So you don't even get that off. And you're connected to the grid, and then if the grid goes down, the power goes out, your solar system shuts down too, because you can't feed into the system when it's down, and so you don't get that. So then you can go off the grid. That costs twice as much to set up an off-the-grid system, and then you don't get any of the benefits.
So it's like
you're not
Right.
connected to the grid anymore. You're not going to get any of those credits. You're just
Yeah.
running your system, and then I don't think you even get the incentives then if you're not hooked into the grid.
So, but
it's
if you're
like,
hooked into the grid, it's like SETI Online for like solar power. Like you've got a solar power, and then you're adding to everybody's stuff.
you
right?
basically get credit
Okay,
on your monthly bill.
We've
but
got-
you do not build up credit.
yeah. All right, we've got a movie recommendation. I have a movie recommendation from Santanu also, which is what did I say? Clan of the
Cave Bear.
No.
Is that one? Which there are two of them, right? There's Clan of the Cave Bear, and then there's what? Quest for Fire.
Oh God, all those.
And there's
no.
another one, right?
Those
There
and-
were like the 3 movies without. Oh, and then Caveman with Ringo Starr, who I found out. We can. This ties in. So I found out I went to see Caveman
Okay.
in the theater.
Wait, is that the one with the guy who did Bioverse 2?
No,
Okay.
that's Biodome. We can talk
Biodome.
about. Put a pin on it. We'll
Okay.
talk about Biodome
Okay.
later, even though we've talked about it before.
All right.
Um,
We can recap it.
Caveman.
Yeah.
I think it's from around 1980. It's all in caveman language. Stars
What?
Ringo Starr, who was the drummer for the Beatles. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever heard of
No,
him.
I know that.
And then I think that's where he met Catherine Bach, his Well, his current wife, his second wife.
Was he in the Beatles during this time?
No.
Did he
This
get
is
thrown
after
out
the
of the
Beatles.
Beatles?
He quit the Beatles.
Okay.
Very interesting. See, now you're spinning me off again. Is like I love the Rick Rubin. I've talked about this before too. Is the Rick Rubin talking to Paul McCartney about Beatles songs? It's like a 3-part documentary, and they're sitting there with a mixer, and they're pulling up tracks and things like that.
Yeah.
They pull it back in the USSR, and it's like, and then Rick Rubin, who apparently knows nothing. Like
He's got a
I already
beginner's
knew,
mind.
I knew he was a classic producer who had no, really musical knowledge, but like he's starting to seem even more like an imbecile.
Is he still alive?
He is.
Okay.
Well, that's questionable. Like it's kind of like a brainstem that is able to, regurgitate all of the, self-help and Buddhist stuff.
Yeah. So anyway,
he's consumed.
All right.
Along with his protein shakes. But yeah, like they pull up back in the USSR, and Paul
Right.
McCartney,
Is that
says,
a Beatles song?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Paul McCartney says, "Oh, I played drums on this." And then Rick Rubin was like, "Oh, really? Wow, I didn't know that." And yeah. Ringo wasn't there, and it's like, Ringo fucking quit the band. You played drums on this song because Ringo, he doesn't say anything
Paul
about
McCartney
it.
played
Paul
drums.
McCartney.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul McCartney played drums on this song.
Okay.
And they're
He's
talking
not
about
the
it.
normal drummer.
Paul
Yeah.
McCartney just kind of like,
Yeah,
and
I
then
played-
says, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh wow," and then and he says he doesn't even say Ringo quit the band for a month.
Oh, it was just for a month, and
Yeah.
so he had to play. Did you know it?
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah,
Rick Rubin, maybe.
Rick Rubin, yeah, but also Paul. It was just like Paul McCartney, just like kind of like breezed by, didn't even explain it. So, anyways, okay, Caveman movie, all in caveman language. They're making oogu boogu. It came. I wish I had this booklet. I looked it up. I don't know why I didn't save this. Everybody, when you went to, it was opening day. I think I went to see it opening day, right?
Where?
At the theater, the Double Theater near Yorktown.
Yorktown, okay. All right. Yorktown, Illinois.
This was not.
This is an answer to your question,
Was this
Cody,
when I?
by the way.
Was this when I? In the other? No, I'm trying to remember what I went to see. They had split it in half by then. This was still like 1980.
Right.
There was a movie I saw there that Apocalypse Now was playing next door, and it
You heard
and you
the
could
booms.
hear
Yeah.
Apocalypse Now
Yeah.
through the walls.
Yeah.
It was where I saw 2001 too. It was this classic kind of theater right across the street from McDonald's headquarters when it was in Oak Brook. Anyways,
We're talking about a different man right now. We're getting to it.
and then
Conan says a different
So-
man was great.
this book you got a little what is it called, glossary?
We're talking about Caveman.
Caveman
the book.
glossary.
Okay.
Of,
So you could
of
understand-
all the
How do I not know
caveman
about
language.
this? Wait,
because
who
it is
wrote-
one of the worst movies ever made.
Is it worse than?
It has a fart joke in it, like a literal somebody.
Is it?
And he
is
says
it a better
something,
fart
and then
joke
you
than
look
the
it
Mel
up in the
Brooks movie?
glossary. No, it's a terrible movie.
Okay.
If you can imagine, I mean, it's. I need to see it again, but I mean, it's a lot of slapstick, I think. Anyways,
So that's Ringo
so
Starr.
but the writer and director of Caveman,
All right.
I just found
Here
out.
we go.
Carl Gottlieb,
Uh-huh.
who basically wrote Jaws.
I was just going to say Jaws.
He's in Jaws.
Yeah.
Well, Peter Benchley, right? There was a script. Carl Gottlieb was hired to play one of the characters. He's one of the townspeople.
Uh-huh.
And then Steven Spielberg said, "Can you punch up this?" And so he was working on the script the whole time and also reduced his role in the movie. But the guy who basically wrote or, pepped up Jaws, wrote and directed
And
Caveman.
we just watched Jaws for
Yes.
whatever reason. We just watched.
So it all
Jaws.
ties together. See,
Yeah.
it was great.
So
Long
thanks
journey.
for the suggestion, Cody, about a different man. What does a different man have to do? Oh no, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my. Keep going, keep talking.
A different man. So Cody said off-topic movie recommendation. A different man. Cronenberg body horror, black comedy, and then I think Conan said a different man was great, and has given another bunch of movies. But So this all came from me trying to say that our friend Santanu, who is my kung fu instructor, has just asked me, have you seen Clan of the White Lotus, a film with Gordon Liu, 1980, same year, right? Same
Yeah.
year? Because he's talking about Pai Mei. Do you remember, like, Pai Mei is a character in Kill Bill 2 also, right? So that brings us to Quentin Tarantino. Anyway, I'll read these.
It doesn't. Let's talk about
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jaws.
Okay,
Just
so
because,
Well,
don't
Co-
need to go off even more
Conan-
tangents.
no.
We have a beautiful,
yeah,
we have a beautiful
we've got
flow
an
going
arc.
here.
We've got an arc. But Conan says A Different Man was great. He also says Life of Chuck is my favorite movie of the year, followed by Sinners and 28 Years Later. Sorry, I thought we were just giving movie recommendations. We are. So
Are we?
anyway,
No, we had a flow going.
yeah. Okay, so Jaws.
Yeah, you'd never seen it, right?
Yeah, I hadn't seen it. Yeah, I had no idea what was going to happen. I'm like, what's going to happen? I know, like, the shark is going to eat somebody,
Yeah. So
but
what
like,
did
I don't.
what did you know about Jaws before you saw it?
EF, 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 EF. Like, I know, like, when I was little, like, did it come out? When did it come out?
75.
75.
Yeah.
Okay, 75. So I would have been 10. And so everybody that year could play the Jaws theme on the piano, which involved you going da 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 da, and then
And
giving up.
I feel like there were kids who had seen it. That was the first time because it was R-rated, wasn't it R-rated? Maybe not.
This I don't know.
I
It's
don't.
the Spielberg.
I couldn't go see
in
it.
this-
I didn't see it, and so my whole understanding of it was from the culture, right? That
Right.
sound
Yeah.
like things, parodies, Mad Magazine,
Right.
Which is
Right.
the only way I saw in quotes any
adult stuff, right,
grown up
right,
movies
Mad
for the first
Magazine.
10 or
Yeah.
15 years of my life. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I knew what happened, but it was all from a absurdist point. I've seen Jaws since then, but it seemed like you just had a cultural awareness. So my only problem is I can't. Yeah, it is kind of funny sometimes.
Oh, I didn't have any. No, really. The only thing I knew about it was it was a Spielberg movie that I hadn't seen, and I've seen Duel. You know, it's just another like hole,
That's
like,
what's amazing.
right? But I think I saw Duel with you.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah, we were like, let's
that's
watch
probably my
Duel.
fault.
Well, no, I would have watched it anyway. But so yeah, no, I'm kind of mapping on my Poseidon because I saw the Poseidon Adventure because it was on every weekend or every week, like every Wednesday night. It was on like Channel 9 or something. It was, and my parents would bet on who was going to die next. I say the old lady goes next. $25 says.
And that reminds me. So the Barry Lyndon, the 4K restoration re-release that's happening 50 years ago.
Yeah.
50, 40, 50. 50 years ago. And I remember wanting to go see that. I had seen it because it said from the director of 2001 or something, or from Stanley Kubrick. I already knew who Stanley Kubrick was because I had just seen 2001 Revival, right? I think they it had been, and I saw it in that same theater, I think, where
Yeah.
Caveman I had seen.
Wait, did your parents take you to see 2001?
Yeah, my mom did.
God. Well, my
And-
mom took me to see Star Wars.
And then I
so-
saw it again. My dad, took me at his work.
What did
they'd
they
have
say
movie
about the
nights.
ending? Did they get offended by it, or
we didn't. We did not have a deep. It just blew me away when I was
Yeah.
a kid, and so I wanted to see another movie by this guy, right? And my parents were like, "You're not going to see Barry Lyndon. It's not for kids." But now, and I assumed all that time that it was R-rated.
Barry
But-
Lyndon? What
yeah.
is it about? I don't even know what it's about.
But it was PG, so they just
They
didn't
just
even
didn't wanna see
want
it.
to. Yeah, I think they went. Yeah, that was probably the problem. It's like we're not taking a
Oh,
9-year-old to see Barry Lyndon.
oh yeah. There was.
It was like date night, probably.
Oh
right?
yeah. There was a movie that like I went to see at like, oh my God, what was it? What's the Christian college near my house, near my parents' house? Trinity. There was a movie playing. It was like The Goodbye Girl or some movie like that. It was some movie.
Goodbye Girl had what's his
Richard
name?
Dreyfuss?
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah. So I think it must have been that. My mom was like, "Why are you going to see that movie?" And I was like, "I don't. My friends are going to see it." She was like, "What does a kid have? Why would you go see that?" She was like really offended, which is really weird because like my mom got in trouble for showing the Blue Lagoon, like letting a bunch of us watch the Blue Lagoon.
Well, yeah, that's not good.
And so like me and like a bunch of other like all the people who lived at all the people who went to this one tennis club, like the parents were all like we were the only Jewish family at the tennis club. No, there was one other. But like I guess everybody else is very much more conservative than us, and they all came to our house, and I think we watched the Blue Lagoon, and then my mom got in trouble for allowing us to watch that. And then my mom was all
That's
like,
right, she should have.
well, my mom was like, what, what, it's not okay. Like it's okay for everybody to watch movies about war and killing and dying and stuff, but like love is prohibited. Like that's what my mom was like. But then it was like when it was like the Goodbye Girl, she was like, what are you going to see that for?
Yeah.
Should we allow her to go see it, Mar? And he was like, I don't know. And I think I got to see it, but something, I don't remember it.
How'd you like it?
I don't remember a minute of it. So back to Jaws. Yeah, I had no idea what was going to happen. I was
so
mapping.
good.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, what? Remember, I was like, oh, well, the girl had her period or something, right?
No.
No, she didn't. But I
were
was
reading
like,
so much into it. You're like, oh, that's his son. His son's gonna die, and she's got her period, and it's like, no,
it was a
kinder,
gentler time.
Yeah, this is all.
Yeah.
It's all superficial stuff.
Yeah.
This is not.
Yeah.
This is not Hitchcockian, I guess.
No,
but it's not
in
depth.
I was just wrapped with the whole thing. I was like, and then
But you were writing a much better movie. You're like,
the next
that girl is being punished for having her period, and so that's why she's dying. And then what is it?
No, I didn't get that far.
His son is going to die. And there was tension about the son, right? Yeah, later, but it was like it wasn't that. Yeah. But
this is the man who wrote Poltergeist, which like, I mean, I don't think I'd ever watch that movie again. That was the scariest movie. That was the scariest I've ever been in a movie theater. Was that pulsating when it recaps and you get the pulsating like
not the tree.
What was the tree ate
that
somebody
was his
or
thing.
something?
Yeah, the tree.
Yeah,
that was his childhood fear put into the movie. That the trees were gonna probably because of Wizard of Oz. Yeah, because those trees are evil.
Okay, and Conan, keep giving movie recommendations. I love that. That's,
and so Robert Shaw. I have an interest in the what was it called? American Film Theater. This was a 2-year series of films that were based on stage plays, right? Or it was kind of like a hybrid. They would do short film productions of stage plays. So I'm like, oh, and then actually there's an earlier play with Robert Shaw. That's not part of this.
Robert Shaw is the
old salt, the shark hunter.
I keep thinking when you said Robert Shaw, I keep conflating that with the Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah.
Is there a Robert Shaw in that?
Raymond Shaw.
Oh, okay. All right. So back to Robert Shaw and the
Lawrence Harvey you're thinking of.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And yeah, now you spin me off again.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
Yeah, I'm the one who's it's you're not the one who I shouldn't have thought of. Yeah, I shouldn't even been talking about the Manchurian Candidate. What am I thinking?
No, okay, Robert Shaw plays American Film Institute.
So no, American Film Theater, I think it was called.
Okay,
Anyways, there were and I think PBS showed them. I saw them when I was a kid. Then also there's oh crap, now I can't remember what it's called. It's a Harold Pinter play with Robert Shaw and the guy who's not Patrick McGee, who's in Clockwork Orange. He's in Barry Lyndon.
All right.
It's a Harold Pinter play about basically it's three-person play about the birthday party, which the band The Birthday Party I think is named after.
Okay.
And then William Friedkin directed it, and it's a little play. Robert Shaw's in that. However. And so it's like, I got that on my list to watch that again. But then then I found out, and this blew me away, that Robert Shaw wrote a play called The Man in the Glass Box, which I saw. And then there was this American Film Theater production of it with Maximilian Schell, who, they said one boy, but there are two.
Two, right.
You think of that guy, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Crazy, over-the-top actor, like crazy intense actor.
Yeah.
This movie, The Man in the Glass Box, already I was
Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
That's the two who
Okay.
you weren't. I was trying to think how would Rose is like Robert Shaw. Where's he from? Where's he from? And I was like, and it finally came to me is that you've seen Taking a Pelham 1, 2.
Yes.
Yeah, we just watched it a while ago.
We
And
did.
that's where you would know Robert Shaw from.
Who was he in that?
He's the main guy, Mister. I don't know what color he was. He
All
was
right,
the
anyway.
he was the ringleader.
Yeah.
He was the guy
Yeah,
who
yeah,
planned
yeah.
the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's the one who electrocutes himself at the end.
Okay, I remember
Spoiler
all this.
alert.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
50-year-old film.
Yeah.
Um.
Your responsibility.
So,
Robert
Man in
Shaw.
the Glass Box.
Yes.
Kind of based on Adolf Eichmann. It's about basically, well, a Nazi, right? Who's pretending to be a Jew in New York City and a rich millionaire.
Wait, are you going to rewatch that?
No, I just watched it while I was
God.
putting together my
Damn
studio,
it.
reworking my
How
studio.
did you pay attention?
And well, it is riveting.
All right. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, Maximilian Schell is in The Black Hole also. So,
Another movie
but
that I
this
have
movie,
not
if
seen.
you want to see full-on Maximilian Schell, the Maximilian of Maximilian Schell, you need to watch this movie. However, it's slightly problematic. It's pretty problematic. It was before Holocaust, the TV miniseries. I think it was my first exposure to, the
The Holocaust?
Yeah.
This is your educated moment?
kind of.
Okay.
It's an intense film. However, I think now watching it again, and then again, why was I allowed to watch this film? And I wasn't allowed. I just watched it. I think it was on public television. They showed it later, and it's super intense. But yeah, there's some problematic aspects to it, but it's pretty freaking. But Robert Shaw wrote the play, which is nuts.
Wow.
Arthur Hiller directed the version
Yeah.
of it, but they shot it in like 10 days. It's a movie. It's got sets and things like that, but the acting is super, theatrical,
Yeah.
which makes it totally weird. And that's what I remember about these other films that they did. Like there's, what is it, Rhinoceros with, what's his name, Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder. There's a
Yeah.
film that's even more like a film play. It's kind of like the producers in the way they're both pretty over the top in the producers in the film version of it, but like it's like that.
Okay, so you're tying.
Anyways.
This is the guy, the fisherman in the boat who goes out to
wrote
kill.
this
Is
intense
Yeah.
play about a Nazi that gets captured after 20 or 30 years, right? It's similar to Adolf
Yeah.
Eichmann, and then gets put on trial, and he's in a glass booth because, they don't want him to be assassinated or anything.
right.
And he's also
I feel like
he
I
has,
may have seen
but
that.
what's intense about it is he has no remorse. He does. That's the thing about it.
Is there a Quincy
And I'm
episode
trying to
based
figure
on
out.
this?
Oh, yeah, it's similar to that Quincy
Yeah,
episode. In
yeah.
fact, one of the guys who shows up in Quincy is in that.
And
Yeah.
why is there no?
But I
Quincy?
think the guy in the Quincy episode is actually the guy who plays the Nazi in the Quincy episode is the guy who plays Fritz, the bellman, or the guy who runs the hotel in What's Up, Doc?
So
He
is it
plays
a
the
problem
German.
that they didn't actually get a Nazi to play a Nazi for?
Well, Maximilian Schell was German,
Okay, all right, good. So all
and
right.
he's also apparently made a movie about his sister, who's Maria Schell, who's in
Auschwitz.
no.
The movie theater, the movie business. Danny,
The Passenger is what I was thinking.
Oh,
of, but
okay.
She's also in Last Tango in Paris, right?
that movie with the guy, the new Auschwitz movie was good too. Danny Ingram says, my father, in an effort to get me to read more, said he would take me to any movie any movie that I read the book of. He quit after The Exorcist and Jaws.
Yeah, that was the thing. There were some
Yeah.
pot boilers there. Yeah, movies.
Yeah. Okay, Disney's The Black Hole. All right. So back to a different man.
The Black Hole. I saw that on vacation, on family vacation. I can't remember where we saw that, but that was also. I feel like that was one of the movies where I could sense my father. Yeah, just was like, and probably my mom too. Just like, this is this is an awful movie. You know, just you could feel like I don't know if that's true, but it was just like, ugh. You know, it was like you could sense the grown-ups were just like, ugh. And yeah, the black hole is, well, it's almost good, right? It's the Roddy McDowall robot is what ruins the black hole.
I haven't
right?
seen that movie, but I am reading Larry Niven's Ringworld right now, which is kind of like a black hole. I am rereading it.
They're making now, right? Or they're going to make.
I don't know. I feel
finally?
Like, yeah, I have no idea. So
we talked about it.
April Smith says hi there from Oklahoma. And Cody just wrote the guy from Psycho. And there's somebody who's written PG.
Yeah.
Ernest
Barry Lyndon was
Borgnine.
PG. My parents could have taken me to see Barry Lyndon.
Do you confront your mom about any of this stuff?
She won't. She doesn't remember.
Oh,
She's
she
like, I don't know
plays
what
that. I don't remember.
No, it was 50 years ago. I
well,
think.
you remember it. Why
Yeah.
can't she?
No, I remember. I remember
Yeah.
looking at the ad, and it said a Stanley Kubrick film, and then I think they went to see it. I feel like they went to see it.
Well,
and
that's
I
why
was
they didn't want to
upset.
take
Yeah,
you. Because
exactly.
they probably never went to see a movie
And it was
twice.
3 hours.
Yeah.
It's the 3-hour movie,
Yeah.
right? And so it was like, yeah, this kid.
Were you a pain in the ass when you were younger?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
An angel. Perfect angel.
Yeah.
That's the question you can ask my mom.
I have asked her, and she was like, "Oh no, he's very nice." You know, like, all right.
How about you?
I was a terrible pain in the ass. Yeah, I know all the things I did wrong.
It was explained to you.
I refused to eat food. I talked back to my dad.
I never did that.
Yeah.
I did upset. I upset my mom a couple times
Yeah.
badly, but that was
Dannon says, "Good afternoon. My parents drove me to a theater, and I saw the black hole on my own."
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm
that's
trying to
pretty cool.
remember. Yeah, so I think I saw Caveman with a friend from school. I don't think. Yeah, I think that was one of the situations where it was like, oh yeah, no way in hell are we taking this or gonna sit through this movie.
And you're saying Caveman, but like this all started with Conan saying a different man, or somebody saying a different man.
Caveman was from Jaws.
Okay, Conan says we just did Barry Lyndon on the Movie Night Extravaganza this week. Okay, another podcast, Movie Night Extravaganza with Conan Neutron, and was also great to revisit it. Also, it has an intermission.
That's right. In fact, the man in the glass booth had an intermission. And it's New York City, and then the second half is Israel. I would like to talk. To move on from the movie talk. I would like to talk about this exciting podcast I listened to today, which was Interview with the Antichrist. Have you listened to that?
The Hard Fork interview?
Yeah, with Peter Thiel.
I know.
Like Ross.
So
they
is
plug
Peter
in.
Thiel?
They're on vacation, right? So
Yeah.
then they plug in, what is Ross Dohat, like his conservative New York Times podcast, talking to great thinkers, and then having Peter Thiel on and listening. Did you listen to it?
No, I didn't. I saw it. I know that Peter Thiel was on. Is he like making the rounds or something?
I guess.
Because somebody else mentioned him.
I think they just mentioned this interview.
No, my dudes, the Obama guys, I think talked about. Oh, maybe they interviewed. Okay, all right.
I think this interview's
so you
been
listened
around.
To
I
it.
listened to it.
Okay, all right.
It's fucking. I mean, he is the Antichrist, and what's astounding about it is he invokes the Antichrist. They have about at least a 20-minute, 30-minute talk about kind of who the Antichrist is, or the concept of it.
It's.
And do you know? I want you to try to guess who Peter Thiel called the Antichrist, who is
AOC?
representative.
No,
You're actually close.
wait.
It is a woman.
Yeah, I know it's a
It
woman.
is a
Wait,
woman.
oh shit, who was it?
Oh, did you hear about it?
God,
It
wait.
blew me away. And the more he talked, it was like, oh, yeah, I'm listening to the actual Antichrist.
It's not Greta
trying
Thunberg.
It is Greta
Oh,
Thunberg.
really?
It's
Oh,
Greta
yeah,
Thunberg.
yeah. Okay, all right.
So for me, with all this, I'm trying to be ecotopian, right? I'm thinking about, so this is my thing about the ecotopian thing, right?
Why
and
don't
I've
you
talked
explain
about
why
this
you
before.
keep talking about ecotopia?
Because I'm
Bought a
very
poster.
angry, and I try to talk about this. I talked about it when I can't remember. We were on some podcast or something, and I tried to talk about it. And what is the zombie zombie TV series that's based on the video game Last of Us, right?
Okay.
And there's an episode of The Last of Us where these two guys are in a kind of compound. They've closed off their small town or their neighborhood, and they're living in a house, but they're growing food outside and it's overgrown. And all of these apocalypse movies, right, and zombies movies have these communities where people are, things are overgrown and they're growing their own food and they're living kind of off the grid, but it's still looks kind of like civilized, right?
Yeah.
And my thing, and then I tried to talk about it, and then people were like, that episode, that show is fascist and everything like that. I'm not fucking talking about the fascism of that show. I'm talking about this idea of this ecological, this eco.
Can we have a front yard garden?
And so the thing is that my whole thing is, why can't we have that now? Why is it always you have to have a complete societal collapse, zombies, plague, everything like that, and then all of a sudden people are going to start. Oh, they're going to let their lawns grow out.
We
and they're going to plant
talked
food.
about
We've
this.
talked about this before.
Yeah, and I always ask, can we have a front yard garden?
No, we cannot have a front yard garden because you also don't want the zombies to come and burn your house down, right? This is what I'm talking about.
God damn it! All right,
we can have a backyard garden.
You.
Keep growing in more stuff in the backyard.
Okay. All right.
And so. Yeah, so this is what I'm like, yeah, we got to, I would love, at least to have our house and yard to be, like a prairie, right? So natural.
Oh, then you're doing that.
Yeah.
Every time I say, can we get a Japanese maple? And he
Slowly.
says, does it grow in the prairie
Yeah,
here?
is
And
it native?
Is it native?
Yeah,
And then
no.
it's like, oh, I guess. If
Japanese
it's
maple,
I guess
let's not plant that. And so.
So how is that
and
different than
moving
trying
more
to
and
get
more-
rid of all of the immigrants?
So don't come
Okay.
on.
All right.
Don't-
All right. Sorry. Go on.
Well, we'll talk about Peter Thiel, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And so for me, so hearing Peter Thiel basically say anyone who's trying to, his view is that that's Antichrist because you're trying to prohibit progress, right? But
it's the progress of the fucking ecology.
exactly. So
It's
in a completely sort of free
purity
market,
of essence. What was it?
libertarian, basically suck all of the resources, out of the system, right? Way, yeah, that is antithetical to that system, but it's suicide, right? It's self-defeat, and even asking the question, should humans, remain? And he pauses for like 2 minutes trying to come up with an answer, and it's finally like, people should.
I
still
think Jon
exist.
Stewart was talking about that.
Yeah.
Jon
And,
Stewart was talking about
I could see, it's the calculation in it. And, I think maybe if somebody asked me that too, it's not even should. Yes, sure. Should it be 10 billion people, 20 billion people? Should it be a Tex Avery cartoon-like thing where you just have more and more people on the planet until they're standing on each other's shoulders, or like a Dr. Seuss thing? No. But I think, humanity should continue. I would like to see it continue. But, it's just all.
So is he
it's
saying that's not what Jesus wants? Jesus wanted.
And then, tying it into religion and saying,
I don't
there
know
was
if I could-
something
I don't-
so effed up
Are
where
you-
it was like saying like caring and sustaining or something. Those aren't in the Bible, and that's not what Jesus teaches. It's like that's Antichrist. That's the Antichrist. It was so disturbing, and so we're fucked. That's it. That's all I need to say about that.
Because Palantir, it is kind of like we're in a. It's like we're in like a really like who? What's the guy's name? Christopher Nolan. It's like we're in a Christopher Nolan movie right now.
Like parallel realities or something, or time? What? What do
no,
you?
like
how are you saying?
This is the end of the world.
Oh, you're talking about the specific one with Mr. Hey Hey Hey.
I don't know. I don't.
Texas Man.
I don't think I watched that one.
Cadillac Man, Lincoln Man,
I don't
Matthew
know.
McConaughey.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Interstellar. You're talking
It is interesting
Interstellar, end
because
of the world.
Interstellar has at the end of it has a ring world, right? So is that the one, or is that the
Maybe.
Mars? Yeah, no, Interstellar. Yeah. This is kind of weird because I'm reading Ringworld. Y'all should read Ringworld, although it's getting a little long in the tooth for me. April Smith okay, so Cody B says, or April had asked, were any of these movies old enough to be rated GP?
No, what GP was like just for like really early 70s.
Yeah.
So
So probably not. Okay, Cody B says Palantir will kill us all. Cody B says Thiel is a techno-Nazi fascist.
oh yeah, that's
April's-
fucking amazing.
yeah.
But yeah, no, he's the
He is
the Antichrist.
Yeah. April Smith says he's gay, but he thinks his money will save him from being rounded up.
That was so messed up too. He was talking about the word trans, right? And then like comparing, and then he was saying the problem people have with like transgender and everything like that is that it doesn't go far enough, right? So transhuman, right? Is like he's talking, which to me was just like become human,
Yeah.
technology hybrids, everything
Yeah.
like that, transhuman stuff.
Yeah.
And he was saying the problem with transgender is it's not far enough or something. I don't know. It was I
How old is this man?
he's like our age.
Oh, thank God. He'll die soon.
He's not going to. Well, he's
Oh, he's not- right, yeah,
he's
'cause
the
he's
guy who
uploaded
was
his-
invested in
yeah.
the company that was
Yeah.
getting young people's blood. Like in fact, I think he was literally getting young person transfusions. But it does seem like he's moved a little bit on that idea of back in the 90s everybody thought they'd live forever. He was talking about cryogenics, this he was actually, that was the thing. He was talking baby boomer, like talking shit about baby boomers, which I liked. So, I mean, that's the way the
This is the
Antichrist
thing about
works.
the-
Is he says things that appeal to you.
You had talked about somebody being right like 50% of the time.
Oh
and
yeah,
like,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
then
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like RFK. It's like
Yeah.
these people are they're not completely, they're not 100% wrong, right?
Yeah.
But
Cody's
Well,
written
he's-
Elysium.
yeah, Elysium. Oh yeah, that movie too. Yeah, yeah. And then what's the other one? Oblivion. No, there's Elysium, and then there's
Are they Christopher Nolan movies?
No.
Oh, it's a different movie. Okay. All right. So the Hard Fork guys didn't interview him. They just put a feed. Okay. All right. Because
they're on vacation,
yeah.
so they popped in this other New York Times podcast, which is basically the Great Satan, interviews with members of Satan's circle,
Who's the great
conservative,
Satan?
the great conservative thinkers,
tank. Yeah,
the greatest
the great.
minds of the conservative
The
movement.
greats. Oh my
It was
God.
like what's his name? What's the Errol Morris movie with known unknowns? What the hell's his name? The guy, he was from Illinois. The guy,
Dick Van Dyke,
close.
because he was from Illinois. His buddy Alex Karp is
Frickin-
also total trash.
Frickin' the mastermind of the Iraq War.
I can't remember.
Known unknowns guy. It's like
Somebody write it. Somebody tell us who
when
he's
you
talking about.
when you like watching that movie, like the one with Robert McNamara, where Robert McNamara talks about the whole sort of mindset that went into the Vietnam War, right? And that those educated kind of planner guys, and then he talks about how it all unravels, and then he talks about regrets about it. But then you watch what's his name? The same kind of documentary, not Dick Cheney, the other guy. I'll come up with it.
What were
Dick
you-
Cheney's evil
Cheney.
twin.
Danny Ingram wrote Cheney.
No, it's not
Dick
Cheney. It's not Dick Cheney. It's the other guy.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, being inside, and there's no regrets or anything, and you spend an hour and a half listening to him talk, and people hated this movie because it's like, oh, there's no mea culpa. He doesn't.
Jeffrey Davis has written Dick Cheney. It's not Dick
Rumsfeld. Yes,
Rumsfeld.
Donald Rumsfeld.
Okay.
And it's like there's no regrets. There's no, he doesn't, corner him, doesn't get him. But it's like, and it's terrible. It's like you don't get any but you spend like an hour and a half inside this lunatic's mind, and you see how it was to talk to him, interact with him, how he sees the world, how he runs things, and it's like it's insane. And that's it's just like the Peter Thiel thing. It's just like, okay, this is one of the most powerful people in the world. He is, and influential.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, is responsible for well, J.D. Vance, but Trump too, right? And Elon Musk, right? Also, it's kind of like a poison component of Elon Musk's personality
But
fused. He's the other half fused with his grandfather's Elon Musk's grandfather's poison. It's like a hybrid.
I do remember like a little earlier in the summer, like just talking about like, how women cannot be leaders because they're too compassionate, all that stuff, right? Like, and that's not a good quality. Like to, if you care, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Isn't that what Jesus talked about? Like, is that, what part of Jesus is Peter Thiel, like what?
I mean, the reason why it's so popular is because you can project.
Okay, all right, yeah, but then we want to hasten Jesus coming back, right? So like that's.
I don't think Peter Thiel is a death cultist. I mean, maybe he is, but he's not a Christian death cultist. He's Christian. I think he's Christian, and he's maybe the part of a death cult, but it's more like an Ayn Rand death cult, right? A libertarian death cult. But he doesn't think of it as a death cult, right? And so it's just lack of empathy,
that's that lack of empathy.
Psychosis. Yeah.
So all right,
institutionalized, psychotic, social,
antisocial.
Yeah.
April Smith here says, "I tire of non-trans people trying to explain what being trans is about." Yeah, sure.
And he wasn't even trying to. He was just it was like some kind of weird thing where it was like, it seemed like he was saying it's the problem with it is that it's a half. It's not going far enough.
And Cody is saying that
weird.
Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris both would have bombed Iran too.
They would have flown the planes. Why the hell didn't Biden bomb Iran?
Because we had an agreement with them, right? And then didn't Trump end the agreement or something?
This is all
last week.
Netanyahu shit.
Yeah.
This is, yeah.
Yeah. So how are you coping with?
Yeah.
How are you coping with the reality? How are you coping with this week's reality?
What's this week's reality? I can't
know.
even remember. I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Well, there's like the Grok. I wrote a couple of.
Oh,
notes.
that one's good. Yeah.
But that's already passed, right?
No. I haven't. Even
I also
listened.
wrote the phrase semi-anti-Semitism.
Oh, that's really good.
Is it? Yeah, and I'm trying to get it to fit into
unfortunately.
what this form of anti-Semitism is now.
Let's riff on it for a little while. Here, where's my RadioZero?
I don't know. It's just tweaking your AI so it's not woke, and then it just goes full on into anti-Semitic. Yeah. Troll mode. Edgelord troll mode. Yeah. And so
today, Lou,
and all that is, it's just a reflection of the culture. So if you start, so it's like, if you start, focusing the source, the database, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it spits out, anti-Semitic, racist tripe, right? It's just a distillation of the data set you gave it, right? And that's upsetting for someone like Elon Musk, right? Is to it's basically a validate or a verification that the endpoint of all of what they're doing and what they're talking about is.
Oh, anti-Semitism. Oh,
and
yeah.
It's
that's interesting.
anti-human. I think it's anti-human, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going on. This is anti-humanism.
I agree.
If you want to say that, anti-humanism. And then it's just the end point with all these freaking people. And it's what I knew would happen. And I knew because it's kind of baked in, the libertarian kind of ideas were baked into our social network, right? The system that our society is built on, which is the web, right? The internet, right? All those early days, people, the 70s, when the Whole Earth catalog, and then the kind of libertarian things fused, and then and it boils out into this kind of
Yeah.
cesspool.
I was kind of like, I had my eyes like looking up for a minute just because I'm trying to figure out, if you tweak your traversal, your AI, your LL large language model, like you tweak your database traversal so that it's not woke, and there's no median, like there's no there's like, just the way computer algorithms work, I guess. Like if you want it to be anti-woke, it's weird. It seems to me like there's two streams, right? There's the woke, and then there's anti-woke, and it seems like there would be this whole middle area that you should be able to access, but there's no middle area because there's no
it's not
Bloomington,
a middle.
Illinois.
There's not a middle when you've got radical anti-human ideas, right? That's extremism. So saying there's a middle between extremist anti-human views, right?
But you are you're saying
what's the
that
middle ground? Oh,
yeah.
we're gonna put everybody, or we're gonna put an equal number. We're gonna put 25% of people in camps, but we're not going to organize them by race or country of origin.
Yeah, and
we're gonna just do a
Yeah.
randomized selection of 25% of our citizens and put them into camps, right?
Where-
That's a
where-
middle
yeah,
ground.
where we
of,
are right
of
now
extremism,
is where we
right?
are right now this week is alligator Alcatraz. What is it called? Is that what it's called?
I don't know if it's literally called that.
Concentration camps. Yeah, they actually have concentration camps, or a concentration camp in Florida for immigrants, right? Is that what you call it? Migrants or immigrants? What's the difference? I don't even know. But they are rounding people up and putting them in and they're laughing about it. And yeah, I actually had a question. Now let me see if I can find my question. It was about Gavin Newsom and Trump. So Trump says, Gavin Newsom's incompetent. So yeah, we're going to look at, getting rid of him, or we're going to look at, taking over. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at it. If you do, and then he says, he like his quote, alligator Auschwitz. That's nice. If you don't, Trump says something like, if you don't like someone or they don't agree with you, it's harder to get money out of them if they are on top, right? So what he's saying is that these governors in the Democratic states are not going to get, they're not going to get help money when something goes wrong in the state. It's going to be a lot harder to get federal funding from Trump because he doesn't like them and he's in charge. Yeah. And apparently that's okay to say. And so what do I have here? Why can't Newsom kowtow to the president and say, oh, I understand, Mr. President. I need to accept your values, and I need to go along with you if I want my state to get money for the disaster funding. I understand. Thank you for letting me know. Why doesn't he say something like that? And then some percentage of the population has got to go, wait. That doesn't sound right. That sounds like Nazi Germany. That doesn't sound right. Like, can't he? I mean, he's fighting back. I understand he's fighting back with the baseball bat and the fire and everything like that. He's fighting back, But he is going to get at some point he's just going to get fucked and he's going to give up and he's going to be silent again. You know what I mean?
I don't understand. Like some way of kissing ass is going to somehow get.
Like give up and say oh, I understand. Yes, you're right, Mr. President. I don't personally agree with with these policies of yours, and then talk about the most fucked up policies he's got. But I understand that if I want the people of California to get disaster relief, that we're going to have to go along with your policies. We're going to have to be Republicans if we want money from you.
Why would that work, or why would that fix anything? Or that would just be like, see, he backed down, and we're going to do all these things.
Yeah, but if he backs down really
says something eloquent and turns his words against him and
Not even
and
eloquent, just
reveals
if-
reveals the
yeah.
hypocrisy.
Yeah.
So you're saying the past decade of hypocrisy and the revealing of it, that hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden it's going to work. It's like
Grab him
you
by
gotta
the
be smart.
pussy.
You got to fight back. You got to do this and
Yeah,
everything like
there's
that.
that,
And
yeah.
it's like, you know what? I think that's bullshit. And it's like, "Oh, yeah, you need to fight this." And it's like, "Well, you know what? How much can you fight other than voting no?" And then it's like, "Oh, it's 218 versus 219." You know, it's like you voted no, but it's like, what else could you have done? You know, and it's to me, it's all bullshit. It's like, oh, what could you have done? Oh, gotten more people to vote for you by saying what? More fascist things, or I don't know.
How did I mean? Once again,
I mean,
this
is
how did we get here?
it's like saying, you know what? If you had a more positive attitude, you know, the cancer, you would have the cancer would go into remission.
No,
or you'd be able to fight the
no,
cancer.
I don't think.
I think it's like it's a battle against this this toxic enveloping thing and telling people that, oh, you're fighting it wrong or you're not fighting it enough, and it's like this.
No,
is,
I'm just asking if this method of fighting will work, but it won't. It
no,
won't.
nothing will work.
Because he's already said grab him by the pussy, and people are like, oh, he didn't mean it, you know. And he doesn't really mean it. It really is. This all people will say, well, he's not really going to do that. He's not really going to take my jobs away and stuff like that. Go on, I interrupted you.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's no way. All right, Cody's saying the Democrats suck. Sorry, they ain't doing shit.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, what can they do? I mean, I've actually.
How do you we've got to fight the mind virus, right? How are we going to fight the fascist mind virus?
Yeah, like I'm saying, Cody, Gavin Newsom's like fighting and yelling at him, and then he's just
J.B. Pritzker's.
Yeah.
You know, and the people are talking about that. It's like it's like, oh, I know you want to, starve children or you don't want to give people health care, right? And then they react and they get angry, right? And sputtery. But it's kind of like how's that going to, I mean, it's not going to get Trump out of office, right? It's not going to.
Actually, yeah, our savior is going to be is going to be a man with the initials EM. Let me see. What does this say? Chad Twiner says, "I believe the puppet on the right, but I believe the puppet on the left." Wait a minute. One guy is controlling both puppets. Yeah, and that guy is Jesus.
Peter Thiel? I don't
Peter
think
Thiel.
so.
So Elon Musk with the American Party.
Oh, that'll be great. Like if he can shave off like just enough. So if you think about the Dixiecrats, you think about Ross Perot, you think about
all the young men aged
unfortunately,
18 to 24.
Ralph Nader.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, like I mean,
yeah,
third party. If he
he's our
can,
only hope.
if he can establish enough of a third party to dislodge this frickin' fascist majority, slim. Yeah, if he can shave
Cody
off.
says, why didn't the Dems pass universal health care when they could have?
Yeah, I mean, Peter Thiel said he liked, low tax socialism, Obama's low tax socialism better than the high tax socialism.
But why didn't they pass it?
Why didn't they pass it? I don't know. Why didn't, I don't know, I guess ask Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Because I think it was impossible. But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I had.
Yeah, we're not.
I was
we're mad.
fucking bitching about
Yeah.
Barack Obama
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
whole time he was.
Yeah, we were pissed off at
It's
all
not-
that too.
Yeah.
We got
His problem was he still believed in the compromise in the
Yeah.
middle and working on that, and he was in a didn't. He believed in the old way.
Danny Grimm says, speaking of AI, how about Mike Lindell's lawyers getting busted for filing a brief created with AI? That's happened a bunch of times, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And then Trump cheated. Danny
Lazy.
Ingram says Trump cheated in the first election. He tried to get Pence to not certify the second. He just didn't didn't just decide he's going to win the third one fair and square. He just perfected cheating. Not sure how to fight that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of cheating going on. So
All right, we're over an
We're
hour.
over. Is there anything? Let me see.
What else is on the list? I didn't talk about Michael Douglas feminism, but I'll talk about it.
Oh my
next
God!
time.
That's why don't you you can give a
I
book.
gotta return
suggestion.
the book to the library by Sunday too. I'm gonna have
Shit.
to finish it.
Wait, can I check it out then? Is it Milner?
I think
or
somebody's
is it
got it on hold.
Fuck. So Rick is reading this book. Just give because people can read it then for when you talk about it.
Did I talk about it last time?
No,
I didn't.
no.
It's called. It's by Jessica Crispin. It's called "What Is Wrong with Men: Patriarchy, the Crisis of Masculinity," and it moved. And how (parentheses of course) Michael Douglas films explain everything.
And it's a
and
fascinating
I'm still
book.
I'm just in the beginning part. I haven't gotten
Can't you
to.
renew it? Oh, you can't renew it.
No, I can't renew it. I just told you that somebody
else got
I
it.
have to return it. I feel like I just got it out. I feel like I talked about it last time because
I don't think you did.
because that would have been when I got it. from
But
the
you got
library.
me so excited because you said the thing about what did you say?
I just
You
haven't.
talk about a spectacle.
Yeah,
You likened
the hysteria.
the women hysterical women in the
Right.
1800s,
Right.
being put in like cages to be
Not
looked
cages.
at.
They were.
or
It was a hospital,
yeah,
and they displayed and showed hysterical traits. And people like Freud went to see these kind of almost like performances, but they were like, kind of like under the guise of medical, talking about female hysteria, right? And so
Right.
this is taking that idea, and then it's male hysteria, or like all the hysterical characters that Michael Douglas has played
yeah.
in film, and
Just-
using that as an analysis of what's wrong with men.
Yeah,
Right.
so the analogy of the hysterical women in the hospital to like now, okay, we have the same thing. It's hysterical Michael Douglas on the TV set.
The roles, not
you
him
had me- yeah,
specifically.
yeah,
It's not about
yeah,
Michael.
yes.
It's just that he just happens.
Yeah.
It's this really.
That's where
all
your
of the films
spectacle
you-
is.
And it's like the crazy stuff, like where it's like, yeah, okay, Fatal Attraction, Basic Instinct, but then talking about the 3 movies he did with Kathleen Turner, where it's like the 2 Jewel of the Nile movies, and then the War of the Roses, and then talking about male-female relationships, and then just how things were changing, right? And
So are we going to watch all those movies with you talking
I don't
about
know.
it? Oh God. Well,
maybe.
Yeah.
But
It's so
I haven't even got. So that's all the kind of gender. But now, I need to at least burn through to the falling down in the game and all of the
Yeah.
sort of collapse of. Yeah, and it was interesting, and so it's a lot of like getting up to date with some. And I don't know. Jess Crispin, I think, is a little bit of an outlier, or like she wrote a book about like an anti-feminist book that was basically about how feminism has gotten kind of pasteurized, right, and needs to be much more radical, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know where she is in the what would be the gradient of like, but it's learning a lot of because my perspective on feminism is stuck in the whatever it is, Riot Girl kind of era. That's my knowledge. That's as far as
You don't
I
have any
know.
historical.
And I have some
hysterical
historical stuff, yeah. But the I don't know what people have been thinking and talking about in the past 30 years, right? It's and so
I haven't been
her
doing
stuff,
my job.
Yeah, so it's like, no, I
Yeah.
don't think you're necessarily. Yeah, I think you're because of your age, right? You're a third wave feminist,
Yeah.
right? And so it's interesting, and just that idea that it's the patriarchy. It is about like. But like taking literally, like defining patriarchy as being like, by default men are in power, and that's not. It's kind of shifted. That has shifted. There's still the idea that white men are in power, but it's shifting now more to class, right, and the rich, right. It's kind of moved more to money, even more so, right, than just simple patriarchy, right. Now.
That's totally
Like-
fascinating.
Like there are plenty of
Yeah.
men who, but
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
also true in the past. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like, and that's the era. that transition. So if you think about movies like Falling Down and The Game, right? It's about that loss, right? So it's somebody within the system, right?
fantastic.
Losing, but it's not
Yeah.
not about it's
Right.
males
Or
losing
giving
that
up.
kind of default power,
Yeah.
right? But it's not. But those aren't about women, right? So
Were
there are
there-
women in those movies, but those are just purely, male sort of movies. So I
Well,
need to
okay.
get to those movies.
Yeah. I mean, were there movies that Michael Douglas could have been in and then he wasn't in it? And do those count? Like
Yeah,
like
I-
Fight
that's,
Club,
it's-
like
yeah, it's
Fight Club
not,
seems like it should be
It's just it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like a funny,
constraint.
useful
Yeah. Yeah.
framework.
Framework.
right.
Yeah, not constraint.
Just because
framework.
he was a star for that era, right? Like in a lot of
And he's a
mainstream
son.
films.
He's
yeah.
a Nepo baby.
Yeah, and in fact, talking about that and talking about the difference between Michael Douglas's kind of characters and Kirk Douglas's characters, right?
yeah.
So Kirk, the kind of pure masculine
Yeah.
hero, right? Total, patriarchal
I still
male,
think.
and whereas
Yeah.
Michael Douglas, a lot of the characters he played were, sort of reacting to these changes, right?
I think you and your Lost, Found, and Rewound buddies need to do a book group, and then like a series on those movies.
Yeah.
Or Conan can take it up.
Noted.
Yeah, noted. I think you need to do that. All right. Thank you.
Nothing better than 3 old white guys talking about feminism.
Nothing better than a wife telling 3 old white guys what to do
Yeah, exactly.
with their podcast.
Thanks, Mom Splainer.